Well, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi has stirred up a massive controversy, this time by raking up the name of veteran BJP leader and former finance minister late Arun Jaitley, accusing Jaitley of having threatened him while he was protesting against the farm laws. Let's first listen in from the leader of the opposition, what exactly he said.
I remember when I was fighting the farm laws, and he's not here anymore, so really I shouldn't say it, but I will. And Arun Jaitley ji was sent to me to threaten me. And he said, you know, if you carry on down this path, opposing the government, fighting us on the farm laws, we will have to act against you. I looked at him and said, I don't think you know who you're talking to. I don't think you have an idea who you're talking to.
Well, his statements were met with a swift backlash from both the party as well as the late BJP's stalwart son, Rohan Jaitley. In a tweet made on X, Rohan Jaitley has said, and let me quote him here, that Rahul Gandhi now claims my late father, Arun Jaitley, threatened him over the farm laws. Let me remind him that my father passed away in the year of 2019. The farm laws were introduced in the year of 2020. More importantly, it was not in my father's nature to threaten anyone over an opposing view.
ये राहुल गांधी वही है जो झूठों के शहंशाह है और अब उन्होंने एक और झूठ बोला और इस बार तो एक ऐसे व्यक्ति के बारे में जो हमारे बीच नहीं है। कहते हैं अरुण जेटली जी ने इनको थ्रेटन किया फार्म लॉज के विषय में। हकीकत यह है कि अरुण जेटली जी का देहांत हो गया था और फार्म लॉज तो बाद में आए थे, परंतु ये राहुल गांधी की झूठ बोलने की फितरत है। वैसे फार्म लॉज की वकालत तो कांग्रेस के मैनिफेस्टो में भी की गई थी और आज तक उसको विड्रॉ नहीं किया गया है।
एक बड़ी यूनिक बात है कि एक व्यक्ति जो हमारे बीच नहीं रहे, जिनका देहांत अगस्त 2019 में हुआ और उसी महीने वो चंद महीनों के लिए बीमार थे, उनका स्वास्थ्य ठीक नहीं था। फार्मर बिल कब आया? सन 2020 में। 2020 में कैबिनेट अप्रूवल्स पार्लियामेंट में वो 13 उनके देहांत के 13 महीने बाद टेबल होता है, सितंबर 2020 में। तो ये बड़ी एक यूनिक बात है, एक जो समझने की जरूरत है कि राहुल जी को वो कब मिले, कैसे मिले, कहाँ मिले, जबकि जो विषय 2019 में था नहीं और उनके देहांत होने के बाद उठा, तो आज उस चीज को लेके हम किस बारे में कह रहे हैं कि अरुण जी मेरे को मिले फार्मर बिल को लेके। अरुण जी के जीवन में तो फार्मर बिल की कोई चर्चा ही नहीं थी जीवन के दौरान। और रही बात थ्रेटन करने की, धमकाने की, वो एक ऐसी चीज है जो अरुण जी के स्वभाव में थी नहीं, नेचर में थी नहीं। वो एक कंसेंसस बिल्डर थे, वो एक डेमोक्रेटिक प्रोसेस को करते थे, वो एक डेमोक्रेट थे नेचर से। एक सेइंग है, जब कोई व्यक्ति हम लोगों के बीच में ना रहे तो इट इज बेस्ट नॉट स्पोकन अबाउट, लेट देम रेस्ट इन पीस। लेकिन यहाँ पे बिकॉज वो एक कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोस्ट जो व्यक्ति होल्ड करता है, बेसिक मिनिमम उनसे एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी से वो अपनी पोस्ट डिस्चार्ज करें और डेप्थ रिसर्च के बाद कोई टिप्पणी करें इज द बेसिक मिनिमम रिक्वायरमेंट। और यहाँ पे वो अपनी पोस्ट होल्डिंग के दौरान भी जो मन में आता है बोलते हैं।
Another big development coming in, some explosive allegations coming in from former BJP MP Sadhvi Pragya Thakur Singh. She has now claimed she was tortured in police custody for 24 days and forced to name senior leaders including Prime Minister Narendra Modi. She says the torture was both physical and mental, allegedly led by former top cop Parambir Singh. The names she claims were forcibly suggested to her include Yogi Adityanath, RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat and other senior Sangh leaders. Sadhvi says she refused to falsely implicate anyone, even as her health deteriorated and she was illegally detained in hospitals. Calling it a political conspiracy, Sadhvi Pragya has framed her survival as a victory for Hindutva and Sanatan Dharma, declaring that despite all attempts to break her, the truth has prevailed. My colleague Shubham Pandey is joining us on the broadcast. Shubham, हमें बताइए कि एग्जैक्टली साध्वी प्रज्ञा जी ने क्या टिप्पणी की है। उन्होंने इस बार कहा है कि उनसे जबरदस्ती प्राइम मिनिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी का नाम लेने के लिए कहा गया था।
बिल्कुल, देखिए साध्वी प्रज्ञा को जब उस वक्त 2008 मालेगांव बम ब्लास्ट के बाद उस वक्त हिरासत में लिया गया था, तो उनका आरोप है कि उन्हें कस्टडी में टॉर्चर किया गया था। तब के जो एटीएस चीफ थे, हेमंत करकरे हों या तमाम जो ऑफिसर थे, वो उस वक्त उनके ऊपर ये एलिगेशन जो है वो कह रही हैं कि उनके ऊपर योगी आदित्यनाथ जो इस वक्त उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री हैं और नरेंद्र मोदी जो इस वक्त प्रधानमंत्री हैं देश के, उस वक्त गुजरात के मुख्यमंत्री थे, उनका नाम लेने के लिए कहा गया था। और ये स्टेटमेंट ऐसे टाइम पर आया है जब साध्वी प्रज्ञा पूरी तरीके से इस केस से बरी हो गई। साध्वी प्रज्ञा का ये भी कहना है कि उस वक्त कांग्रेस की सरकार थी और झूठे आरोपों में उन्हें फंसाया गया था, भगवा आतंकवाद लाने की बात कही गई थी। देखिए, अब साध्वी प्रज्ञा पूरी तरीके से निर्दोष साबित हो चुकी है, तो ऐसे में वो जो आरोप लगा रही हैं या जो अपने स्टेटमेंट देख रही है उसमें कितना तथ्य है, वो उस वक्त के ऑफिसर और उस वक्त के जांच अधिकारी ही बता पाएंगे। लेकिन बहरहाल एक बार जिस तरह से बयानबाजियां जो साध्वी प्रज्ञा की तरफ से जो स्टेटमेंट आया, वाकई में हैरान कर देने वाला है कि मालेगांव बम ब्लास्ट में किस तरह से लोगों का नाम कहने के लिए कहा गया। हालांकि एक एटीएस के पूर्व चीफ थे, उन्होंने भी बयान दिया कि उस वक्त मोहन भागवत का नाम लेने के लिए भी बात उन्होंने कही थी कि इस वक्त मोहन भागवत को भी गिरफ्तार किया जाए। तो अब देखना होगा कि किस तरीके से जिस तरह से ये जो घटनाएं घटी है, कांग्रेस पार्टी इस पर किस तरह से बयान देती है।
बिल्कुल शुभम, हमसे जुड़ने के लिए, हमें सारी जानकारी देने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। राइट नाउ देयर इज अनदर बिग डेवलपमेंट कमिंग इन with regards to the poll-bound state of Bihar. So let's take a look at that as well. The Bihar SIR controversy has now taken a new and a very surprising turn. RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav has said that his name, along with the names of over 65 lakh others, have been purged from Bihar's draft voter list despite having completed required verification and submission steps. He has accused the Election Commission of acting under the BJP's influence, calling it a quote-unquote Godi Commission, and alleging deliberate exclusion of poor, marginalized and migrant voters. While Tejasvi Yadav publicly showed quote-unquote no record found on the Election Commission's portal, the poll body later provided with proof of his inclusion in the voters list, revealing his actual position in the draft list under Digha constituency. In the list, Tejasvi Yadav's name can be clearly seen listed at number 416. In fact, we are flashing the very screenshot of it on your screens as well, viewers. Election Commission has stated that no name will be deleted from the draft list without a stated reason and is allowing 1 month for claims and objections before finalizing the voter rolls. Now, the controversy comes in the midst of the Bihar SIR political row, which was launched by the Election Commission back on June 24th. Months before the upcoming assembly polls to update the voter rolls in a span of just 25 days, triggering severe criticism from opposition leaders.
एप्लीकेशन है, मेरा भी नहीं है, हम चुनाव कैसे लड़ेंगे? अभी तो देखिए, ये चुनाव आयोग का एप्लीकेशन है और मेरा ईपीआईसी नंबर हमने इसमें डाला है। ईपीआईसी नंबर अगर आप चाहें तो हम बता भी दें। चुनाव लड़ने के लिए आपको बूथ वोटर बनना चाहिए, बिहार का वोटर होना चाहिए, तब जाकर के हम चुनाव लड़िए।
Shifting focus to another massive development coming in, Prime Minister Narendra Modi's big message to US President Donald Trump from his very own Lok Sabha constituency, Kashi or Varanasi, amid Donald Trump levying additional tariff on India for purchasing oil and weapons from Russia. Prime Minister Modi breaks his silence from the stage in Varanasi in front of a massive gathering. Prime Minister Modi, in fact, reaffirmed the resilience of the Indian economy. Without mincing his words this time around, Prime Minister did the straight talk. He said that India is going to become the third biggest economy in the world, and that's why India will have to stay alert as far as its economic interests are concerned. His government is doing everything it can in the best interest of the country. By this statement, Prime Minister Modi clearly killed two birds without using any stone. Without naming anyone, he debunked Rahul Gandhi's endorsement of Trump's quote-unquote dead economy remark. Listen it.
Everybody knows that the Indian economy is a dead economy. I'm glad that President Trump has stated a fact. बीजेपी ने इकोनॉमी को खत्म कर दिया है। क्यों खत्म किया है? अदानी जी की मदद करने के लिए खत्म किया है।
व्यवस्था कई आशंकाओं से गुजर रही है। अस्थिरता का माहौल है। ऐसे में दुनिया के देश अपने अपने हितों पर फोकस कर रहे हैं। अपने अपने देश के हितों पर ध्यान केंद्रित कर रहे हैं। भारत भी दुनिया की तीसरी सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था बनने जा रहा है। इसलिए भारत को भी अपने आर्थिक हितों को लेकर सजग रहना ही है।
Shifting focus to a breaking news coming in, we have been given to understand that the Sri Amarnath Ji Yatra 2025 will be suspended from August 3rd onwards due to heavy rainfall and urgent track maintenance along both the Baltal and Pahalgam routes. Divisional Commissioner Kashmir Vijay Kumar Biduri has confirmed that continuous rains have caused damage requiring critical repair works that make it unsafe to resume Yatra movement. Authorities say men and machinery will be deployed for repairs starting from tomorrow, and the pilgrimage will remain suspended from both the axes until further notice. Despite the early suspension, this year saw over 4.10 lakh devotees successfully offering their prayers at the holy cave of Sri Amarnath Ji. But as of now, the big breaking news, the update coming in from there is that the Sri Amarnath Ji Yatra 2025 is going to be suspended from August 3rd onwards due to heavy rainfall and urgent track maintenance along both the Baltal as well as Pahalgam routes. We've been given to understand that due to the severe damage that has been caused to both the routes, the maintenance work will now begin from August 3rd, due to which Sri Amarnath Ji Yatra will be suspended from the very date. In fact, the news has been confirmed by Divisional Commissioner Kashmir Vijay Kumar Biduri. He has said that continuous rains have caused damage requiring critical repair works that makes it unsafe to resume the Yatra movement for the incoming devotees. Authorities have also commented that men and machinery will be deployed for repairs starting from tomorrow onwards, and the pilgrimage will remain suspended from both the axes until any further notice. First axis would be from Baltal, the another one from Pahalgam. The two routes. Shifting focus, in Chhattisgarh's Durg, a nursery student was beaten and her mouth was taped shut for saying quote-unquote Radhe Radhe, a greeting in the name of the Hindu deity Radha. The incident occurred on Wednesday morning when the principal of a missionary school in Durg beat a 3.5-year-old student and taping her mouth as a punishment for taking the deity's name. The incident is reportedly from the Mother Teresa English Medium School in Bagdumar village under Nandini police station limits. The principal, named Ivan Colvin, has been arrested as of now. The victim, in fact, is a nursery class student. The school principal, Ila Ivan Colvin, has been arrested under sections 115 subsection 2 and 299 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, as well as section 75 of the Juvenile Justice for Care and Protection of Children Act for causing injury, hurting religious sentiments, cruelty to children and other offences.
थाना नंदिनी में ग्राम बाग डूमर स्थित मदर टेरेसा स्कूल है, जहां पर नर्सरी क्लास में पढ़ने वाली बच्ची के परिजनों ने शिकायत की है कि बच्ची 30 जुलाई 2025 को स्कूल गई हुई थी और स्कूल में वो रोज की भांति अपना पढ़ाई कर रही थी। तभी क्लास टीचर क्लास में थी और स्कूल की प्रिंसिपल ईला कोलिन क्लास में आई और बच्चों के बारे में पूछने लगी। तब बच्ची बात कम करती है और प्रिंसिपल के पूछे जाने पर उसने कोई भी उत्तर नहीं दिया। तब प्रिंसिपल ने झल्लाकर बच्ची के साथ उसको हथेली में चाटा मारी और बच्चे के मुंह पर टेप लगाकर 15 मिनट तक रख दी थी। इस बात की शिकायत बच्ची ने घर आकर की। तब उसके शिकायत पर थाना नंदिनी में अपराध पंजीबद्ध किया गया है। जेजे एक्ट की धारा 75 और बीएनएस की धारा 299 के तहत इसमें कार्यवाही की गई है और आरोपिया जो प्रिंसिपल है ईला कोलिन, उसे गिरफ्तार कर न्यायिक रिमांड पर पेश किया गया है।
My colleague सुब्रत कुमार दास is joining us on the broadcast. सुब्रत, हमें बताइए कि घटना एग्जैक्टली थी क्या, बच्ची के साथ क्या हुआ है और अब बच्ची के माँ बाप का क्या कहना है केस के बारे में?
जी, जो ये घटना छत्तीसगढ़ के दुर्ग जिला में हुई है, जो कि एक मदर टेरेसा कॉन्वेंट स्कूल में 3.5 साल के जो स्टूडेंट्स थी, तो उसको जो स्कूल के प्रिंसिपल ने कुछ वर्ड राधे राधे जैसे प्रोनाउंस की, तो स्टूडेंट्स, तो उसको प्रिंसिपल ने उसके हाथ में कुछ हार्म किया और उसको जो माउथ में टेप लगाकर 15 मिनट ऐसे रख दी। तो फिर जब छात्री ने जब घर गई तो फिर उसको पेरेंट्स को इन्फॉर्म करने के बाद पेरेंट्स ने नियरेस्ट थाने दुर्ग जिले के नंदिनी में जाके एफआईआर रजिस्टर्ड किया, जिसके वजह से कि उस स्कूल का प्रिंसिपल को हाल ही गिरफ्तार किया गया है, क्योंकि स्कूल एक अनुष्ठान है और स्कूल में ऐसा इंसिडेंट होना ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, ये नहीं होना चाहिए। इसके ऊपर पुलिस ने भी सख्त कार्रवाई उठाया है।
सुब्रत, हमसे जुड़ने के लिए, मैं वो सारी जानकारी देने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। सो दैट्स एन अपसेटिंग न्यूज कमिंग इन फ्रॉम द स्टेट ऑफ छत्तीसगढ़. Shifting focus to the state of Maharashtra, in a big update in the Pune clash case, police have intensified their crackdown on protesters who vandalized shops, dodged vehicles and pelted stones during Friday's violence in Yavat village. Police say more than 20 people have been detained so far and 5 cases have been registered. Patrolling continues in the area with Section 144 still being in place to prevent public gatherings. Fresh CCTV footage shows mobs pelting stones and damaging vehicles as police chase them down. Officials estimate over 100 people were part of Friday's rampage, which saw shops, a bakery and several motorcycles being set ablaze. The unrest reportedly began after the desecration of a statue of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj on July 26th. Police say Friday's clashes erupted soon after a provocative social media status was posted. Authorities are now analyzing all video evidence and have warned of strict action against anyone found guilty of fueling the violence, whether on the streets or on social media.
एक्चुअली बेकरी हमारी है और वो यहाँ पे रेंट पर है और फिर उन्होंने इस बेकरी को जानबूझ के पत्थर मारा, थोड़ा ये किया और जानबूझ के फिर ये इस तरफ से पतरा फाड़ दिया और अंदर कुछ जलने वाला चीज डाल दिया, उससे ये सारा बेकरी जो है हमारा वो जल गया है। आप यहाँ पे भी देख सकते हैं कि कितना सारा सब कुछ जला हुआ है और जो भी पोस्ट हुआ है या जो भी हुआ है उसमें हमारा मतलब कोई नहीं है, हमारे कोई वर्कर का भी कोई उसमें ये नहीं है कि उसका कोई रिश्तेदार है, पहचान वाला है, ऐसा कुछ इसमें कुछ इनका संबंध नहीं है.
Shifting focus, a major counter-terror operation is currently underway in the Akhal area of South Kashmir's Kulgam district, where security forces have killed 3 terrorists so far. The joint team of the Army, Jammu and Kashmir Police's Special Operations Group and CRPF launched the operation following intelligence inputs about terrorists' presence in the area. Fresh firing has been reported from a nearby location, with officials suspecting that 2 more terrorists may still be holed up. The encounter, which began on Friday, is still going on. Moving on, a tragic incident has been reported from the Indian Institute of Technology from Bombay. A 26-year-old student has allegedly died by suicide after jumping from the roof of his hostel building in Powai. The student has been identified as Rohit Sinha, a 4th-year student of the Meta Science Department. The incident reportedly occurred around 2:30 a.m. in the early hours of Friday. Another student who was present on the hostel roof at the time immediately called for help. Rohit was after that rushed to Hirandani Hospital nearby, where doctors declared him dead on arrival. The Powai police have registered an accidental death report and are conducting further investigations to ascertain the circumstances behind the incident. As of now, no suicide note has been recovered from him. Shifting focus, tensions between Washington and Moscow have taken another sharp turn. US President Donald Trump says he has ordered 2 nuclear submarines to move into what he called, quote-unquote, the appropriate regions, following what he termed provocative remarks from former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. In a strongly worded post on social media, Donald Trump said the move was in response to Medvedev's warning about the risk of nuclear war, a warning Trump called foolish and inflammatory. Donald Trump added, let me quote him here, that words are very important and can often lead to unintended consequences. I hope this will not be one of those instances. While Donald Trump's announcement raised alarm bells, security analysts say the US already has nuclear submarines deployed and that this may be more rhetorical posturing than a concrete military shift. The Pentagon and the US Navy declined to comment on submarine movements in keeping with long-standing policy on nuclear deterrence operations. This latest exchange comes amid growing frustration from Trump over President Putin's refusal to end the ongoing war in Ukraine. Donald Trump, in fact, recently issued a 10-day ultimatum to Russia to agree to a ceasefire or face new tariffs, a deadline that ends on August 8th. Meanwhile, the Kremlin has deployed Trump's threats, in fact, downplayed them, and Medvedev continues to escalate rhetoric, while US officials suggest that they are not treating his comments as a serious threat at the moment. So, a latest escalation this time, a vocal escalation, of course, coming in from US President Donald Trump's side. He has said that he has ordered 2 nuclear submarines to move into what he has claimed the appropriate regions, following what he termed provocative remarks coming in from former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev. Tensions between Washington and Moscow has taken this surprising new turn. And a big breaking news is now coming in. We have been given to understand that life imprisonment has been announced for Prajwal Revanna. So we were waiting for the quantum of punishment which was supposed to be announced for Prajwal Revanna in the domestic help rape case, for which he was declared guilty yesterday. The big high-profile case against former Hassan MP Prajwal Revanna. The result, as far as the quantum of punishment is concerned, is out. We've been given to understand that life imprisonment has been given to Prajwal Revanna in rape case where he has been found guilty. Former Hassan MP Prajwal Revanna broke down in a special court in Bengaluru today, a day after he was convicted of raping a 47-year-old domestic worker. Court, in fact, will announce the quantum of punishment at any moment. In fact, the moment has arrived. We have been given to understand that life imprisonment has been announced for Prajwal Revanna, who is the grandson of former Prime Minister H.D. Deve Gowda. Remember, on Friday, Judge Santosh Gajanan Bhatt found Revanna guilty of rape, sexual harassment, voyeurism, destruction of evidence and offences under the Information Technology Act. More than 2,000 videos were uploaded online. The verdict came nearly 14 months after his arrest and within 8 weeks of the trial's commencement. My colleague Shweta Kothari is joining us on the phone line. Shweta, it's a big news coming in that life imprisonment has been given to Prajwal Revanna in that domestic help rape case. Please fill us in with more details coming in.
You're right, Sakshi. This is, in fact, quite consequential story that we've been following very, very closely here on News9, and something that a lot of people from down south, especially in Karnataka, have been waiting for. Prajwal Revanna has finally been awarded a life sentence. Remember, Prajwal has at least 3 rape cases against him, 1 sexual harassment case against him, and this is the first case which went to trial, the verdict of which came out yesterday. The victim in this case was a 48-year-old former help at Revanna's family farmhouse in Hassan. There were arguments over quantum of punishment today, and the punishment has now been declared. Prajwal Revanna will get a life sentence. Now, he's a former JDS MP from Hassan. It was a trial in rape that Prajwal Revanna was a part of, starting in Special Court of Sessions for criminal cases against him from 2nd of May 2025 onwards. So, after months of wait, finally there seems to be some ray of hope, ray of light there, at least for the victims. As many as 3 cases, but at least in 1 case he's been finally convicted. The trial was completed by 18th of June. There were daily hearings for at least 2 months, and while the order was reserved on 30th of July, the judges adjourned the verdict to Friday. They were hoping to seek some more clarification on mobile location data and other technical evidence that was put in by the prosecution. So after getting that clarity, the verdict came yesterday, and he was convicted of raping his help. Now, as of this evening, we finally know that Prajwal Revanna will be behind bars for the rest of his life. It's a big victory. Remember, there were about 26 witnesses. There were 180 documents submitted in the matter. And the main evidence, of course, was the lady.
Apologies for interrupting you over there. Karnataka BJP's Bhaskar Rao is also joining us here on broadcast. Mr. Rao, thank you so much for speaking to News9. I would like your comments on this big breakthrough in the case. The court has pronounced life imprisonment for Prajwal Revanna. Your thoughts on that?
This has been very, very fast. That's what I can say. For what he has done, which was quickly followed by very systematic technical investigation, and then charge sheet submitted, and after the charge sheet submitted, very, very fast trial and life imprisonment. Means no one could expect things to move so briskly, and the judicial process, the investigation and the judicial process has taken very, very fast. And what has come as a surprise is that the courts have taken a very, very bold stand to ensure that the law takes its course, despite someone being in a very powerful position and someone being in a position that could influence judgment, etc. Nobody has got swayed, and it's a judgment that has come through. I think that's a strong message to all those who are messing around with women's security and women's modesty.
Mr. Rao, if I could also have your comments, because the opposition is not going to let this particular case go very easily. They are going to plan your government, which is in alliance with the JDS. So would you like to comment on that as well? How will the track for the alliance change from here onwards?
In the beginning, we have not had the Bharatiya Janata Party, the national party, having a government at the center with a huge number of seats, and in its 3rd term. Our Bandhan with JDS was not based on, was not with Prajwal Revanna. It was done at the highest level, taking into consideration the party's reach in the entire hinterland of Karnataka, and with the former Prime Minister Sri Devegowda and our seniors in the party. So it is not Prajwal. But of course, it has come as a shocker. Nobody would ever like to be associated with such a person who has perpetrated such kind of heinous acts against a woman. This is really very, very shocking. We are also equally shocked that someone from the party with whom we have associated is engaged in this kind of activity.
Don't you think, Mr. Rao, this case will give ammunition to the opposition? Because like I said, they have no plans to drop it anytime soon. They are going to launch a scathing attack at your party as well as your partner, which is JDS. Of course, this is about the image that has been damaged here.
Yeah, I can tell. There are 2 parts to it. One is the legal part and one is the political part. The legal part done, okay, we have the highest respect for the law enforcement authorities. They have done an excellent job, etc. But politically, what I want to tell you is that we did not do an alliance after having come to know about all these things. Our alliance started much before this, but this incident definitely has, of course, come as a great shocker. The people in the party at the highest level will decide next what's to be done. That is what I can tell you at this very, very preliminary stage.
Absolutely, Mr. Bhaskar Rao. Thank you so much for speaking to News9, putting your perspective across. My colleague Gautam Shankar has also joined us live on the broadcast. Gautam, what more details are coming in straight from the court? Gautam, I believe you're on mute. I can't hear you.
Yeah. So the much awaited verdict is out, Sakshi. So Prajwal Revanna has been given the life sentence, and that is the maximum punishment that could be accorded in this particular case here. Now, it's very interesting to note the kind of arguments that were made because the prosecution said that this is the most heinous crime, and they demanded the life imprisonment. That is the maximum sentence of 10 years is what it carries with it, and also the what it was said in the court was that the survivor is actually a daily wage worker and she had to flee her job, leaving behind her clothes due to trauma. And the survivor even contemplated suicide after watching some of the videos that were circulated of her with Prajwal Revanna as well. And the survivor's mental and emotional trauma was actually, dictated in very emotional terms there by the advocate in the court hearing today. And this seems to have had an effect on the verdict that we have seen here as well. And the prosecution also spoke about Prajwal's actions. It actually reflecting a sort of depraved mindset and such a person being in political circles, and also that he carries a lot of sway in Hassan district as well, was one of the reasons also cited by the prosecution for why Prajwal Revanna should get a life term. And also, one interesting thing to note here is that the kind of arguments that were made by the defense, they said that Prajwal Revanna is actually a young MP, and although it does not absolve him of the severity of the crime, they talked about people having elected him for the service and not for this kind of betrayal. They suggested a large monetary fine instead of a very harsh punishment like we have seen here. And also they spoke about the viral nature of the videos as well. And the prosecution responded by saying that the videos that were circulating, it had made the livelihood of the victim or the survivor in this case impossible as well. And this is one of the reasons also cited for the maximum punishment that could be accorded. And now it will be interesting to see what they have to say about this, because definitely the JDS is in a lot of trouble right now. What we understand is that his father, H.D. Revanna, and her mother are also in Bangalore. They are devastated by the news that has just come out as well, that the son is going to get a life sentence. And earlier in the day, we saw his mother as well, also praying in a couple of temples, hoping that the verdict would not be as severe. But it is a life term for Prajwal Revanna, Sakshi.
Definitely. Gautam, I'll request you to please stay on with me on the broadcast. I would also like to understand from you, the entire timeline of the investigation and what was the major breakthrough here. But I'm also being joined by Congress spokesperson Sadhvi Pragya on the broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking to News9. Now the verdict is out. It's life imprisonment for Prajwal Revanna. Your thoughts on it?
Good afternoon, Sakshi ji.
Good afternoon,
Truth has
sir.
prevailed. Satyameva Jayate. Judiciary, which is the third pillar of our constitution, has today thundered and given justice to lakhs and lakhs of women who continuously are being harassed regarding their modesty. We also need to understand that who is the victim and who is the perpetrator. Today, judiciary, which is the third pillar of our democracy, has given justice to a normal maid against a grandson of a former prime minister. Today, judiciary has proved to all the women of this country that whenever it comes to your modesty, judiciary is there to support you. Judiciary is there to give punishment to the perpetrator, however big he is. He might be a biggest leader. Today, we also need to understand who is Mr. Prajwal. Mr. Prajwal was part of the legislature. His uncle, his father, his grandfather was part of the executive. Even today, his grandfather has very good relationship with all the powers that be in this nation. And for the judiciary and the prosecution, and hats off to the witnesses. Witnesses belong to very poor sections of the society. They never lost hope on our judiciary. They never lost hope on our police system. They stood hard even when they were facing the grandson of a former prime minister. Today, justice has been delivered. Today, all women in this country can put their head up and say that whenever they are in danger, and if perpetrator, whatever level he is, whatever minister, MLA, MP he is, there is judiciary which will take care of our woes, is what judiciary has said. Today we also need to understand that why that in Hassan, Karnataka's very powerful family has acted like that. We all have to hang our heads in shame. The state, the executive, the legislature, this went on for 4 continuous years. And today the political system also should hang in shame. If not for the judiciary, just imagine if this animal would have won the election in 2024, he would be sitting in the parliament. If this animal would be sitting in the parliament, would it have been possible for the courts in this country or for the prosecution in this country to give a judgment that it has given today? No. So
Mr. Prakash, sorry for interrupting you over there, because Gautam, my colleague, has highlighted that what's interesting here is that the defense has said that he is a young MP. He has his entire life in front of him. So go easy with regards to the punishment. But on the other hand, he has gotten the life imprisonment for him.
Sakshiji, we need to take this Prajwal case not in isolation. It was brute power of all the powers that be in the state of Karnataka. This judgment which the court has given is not just for Prajwal. This judgment given by the court is for every perpetrator in this country, that he cannot belittle the modesty of a woman, however powerful he is. Even if he is a grandson of a prime minister, even if he has taken photographs with the present prime minister of this country, even if his uncle is a very powerful union minister, the justice is saying. Today, every girl across India will come to know that, yes, the courts are in my favor. Any animal which prowls upon me, the courts are going to be with me. Every parents, look at the parents, their young children have to go for work. If the perpetrators of this kind are there in offices, if the perpetrators of this kind are there in corporate offices, if perpetrators of this kind are there across the society, how can women in this nation be happy, Sakshi? This is what the court has proved, that today the justice system has prevailed. Satyameva jayate, truth, there is no death for truth. Lies will not have any future in this country. You also have to look that today that maid in a modest town of KR Nagar will be happy that the justice system in this country has come to her rescue. If the justice system had failed, just look at the manobal kya hota wo bichari ki. She would have felt that the constitution is of no use, the justice system is of no use. Indeed, the judiciary, like its symbol, has its eyes blindfolded. Today, it has proved that in law system, there hai and there nahi is the popular this thing, but this particular judgment which has been given in 14 months, there bhi nahi hota hai and there bhi nahi hai, is what today's judgment has proved. And this animal with whom the judge has proclaimed a life term, I am sure that the higher courts will uphold the judgment given. And this, ye manobal jo hai na, ye ladki ka manobal jo hai, what did Mahatma Gandhi say? We will attain true freedom when in the midnight, a girl or a woman will walk freely in the streets of this country. But forget about the streets of this country. Ultimately, this maid was working in the house of one of the most powerful family in Karnataka. We also need to understand that Devaraja Gowda, who belonged to BJP, before the FIR was filed, had sent all the details by writing a letter to the topmost executive in this country. He wrote a letter to Narendra Modi and BJP's president, Mr. Amit Shah. But nothing happened. Please understand. That means the ruling establishment turned a blind eye for the sake of elections. That means the executive of this country failed. The legislature, This particular animal was part of the legislature. It
Prakash,
is
if my
only
memory,
judiciary which is
Mr. Prakash, if my memory serves me right, when this case blew open initially, when it came to the picture, I still remember how the timeline was also questioned, that just 6 days before the Lok Sabha elections, the case came into the picture and a young MP has been threatened with all of these videos, that these videos will be leaked. So that timeline initially was also questioned.
Actually, there is no doubt in my mind that those sort of videos should not have come in public domain. Instead of it, the concerned people should have taken it to the concerned authorities. But if not, just imagine for a moment, if not for that leak that has happened, would these victims who are normal simpletons would have got the guts to go to the police against the most powerful family of Karnataka? A family which has ruled Karnataka for the last 40, 45 years, who has a prime minister in their bloodline, 2 times chief minister in their bloodline, a minister in their bloodline. MP, this guy is an MP. His cousins are MLAs, MLCs. His mother is an ex-Jilla Panchayat president. Would any victim have the courage? We also need to understand, Sakshi, please understand, this is just one of the cases. Still 3 cases are pending. Do you know who are the victims?
That's the reason why
victims
that's the reason why this case is such a high-profile case. Mr. Sadhvi Prakash, I request you to please stay on with me with broadcast because very patiently my reporter has been waiting. Let's explain our viewers the timeline of the investigation, Gautam, that I just spoke to you about, when it actually came into the picture, and post that the entire investigation that panned out, that led to the announcement of life imprisonment for Prajwal Revanna. The big breakthroughs, the key takeaways.
Yes, Sakshi. And before we get to that, just one important piece of information has just come to light regarding the sentencing and the quantum of punishment. Now, here's the breakdown of the punishment according to the court order copy that we've just accessed. Now, under under the section 354A, that is sexual harassment, Prajwal Revanna will be serving 3 years imprisonment and a 25,000 rupees fine. Section 354B, that has been imposed on him, assault or use of criminal force to disrobe a woman, that carries 7 years imprisonment plus a 50,000 rupees fine. Then section 354C, voyeurism, which is 3 years plus 25,000 fine. Section 506, criminal intimidation, 2 years imprisonment and 10,000 fine. Section 201, basically causing disappearance of evidence. This carries 3 years plus 25,000 as well. And IT Act section 66A as well. This is 3 years plus 25,000. So if you add it all up, it comes up to almost 18 years. And what we understand is that the court has directed that all the sentences will run concurrently, which means that all of these sections combined, the life term, whereas it is normally around 10 years to 14 years, Prajwal Revanna will be serving an 18-year jail term, is what we are given to understand. So this is a big blow for Prajwal Revanna, given the fact that his advocate and the defense was arguing with regard to his age now, 18 years of his life is definitely going down the drain, unless, of course, he might get some relief from the higher courts when he might file an appeal. But so far, what we know is that 18 years plus also what the court has also said that the domestic help or the survivor in this case will have to be financially compensated as well. What we're hearing is that that amount is going to be around 11 lakh rupees as well. So this is the fresh information that we have just got. And regarding the case itself, Prajwal Revanna, during when he was addressing the judge today, he actually said that why did any of the survivors or the victims come forward earlier? Now, this is a statement that is quite bizarre that was made by Prajwal, because keep in mind, we
Staying
knew
with
very
that
well.
point, Gautam, is he still staying with that point, that why did they not come earlier and just 6 days before the Lok Sabha elections? Is he still on that point? Yeah, he has not moved on.
Absolutely, because that is the point that Prajwal Revanna's advocate and Prajwal Revanna himself has been saying that, why didn't they come forward? And whereas it's been clearly mentioned in the charge sheet as well that has been prepared by the SIT that there was criminal intimidation and there was an extreme fear factor, so much so that the district of Hassan came to be known as the Republic of Revannas, is what it was known as, because that was the kind of political cloud that the Revanna family carries in this region as well. And he also went on, tried to use the emotional angle in court today. He broke down while saying that he hasn't seen his parents for the last 6 months, and he claimed to be a meritorious mechanical engineer, and said his only mistake was rising too fast in politics. That was the statement he made in front of the judge when he was confronted with all the evidence. So this kind of describes a picture to our viewers as well that what really happened. And while he said that he accepts the court verdicts, and also he went on to say that the media reportage as well, he went on to blame them to a certain extent as well. So this is what is happening right now. But what we understand is that 18 years plus 11 lakh compensation for the survivor in this case, and there are several other penalties that I involved as well, Sakshi.
Gautam, is there any word coming in from the defense's side? What is going to be their next plan? Are they going to knock the doors of higher courts? Will they be taking the case forward?
It is very likely because yesterday itself we saw that the defense wasn't very confident, and although there is no official word yet if they are going to move higher court, be it the Karnataka High Court or the Supreme Court yet, what we understand though, however, is that the special investigation team is going to hold a press conference at around 5:30 today, and they are going to describe in detail how they managed to form this charge sheet that is over 1,800 pages, and also the fact that the trial was completed in such a quick time, that is actually hats off to them in such a complex case that they were able to do so and present it in front of the court in such a systematic manner. So at 5:30 we will get to know in detail how and what was the kind of charges that Prajwal Revanna did, and the kind of heinous crimes that he carried out as well. So this special investigation team's press conference is scheduled at 5:30. So it will be interesting to know what really happened, and they'll also be speaking about this particular domestic help as well. And her bravery is what has been commended time and again by the prosecution, saying that it took a lot of courage on her part. She has been like a mother to Prajwal Revanna, but the fact that she was made to undergo such a heinous torture in terms of sexual harassment, recording her videos. She was sexually harassed once at the farmhouse of Prajwal Revanna in Hassan, and then once again she was brought to Bangalore here, and it was the same act was repeated. And then there was criminal intimidation. There was also what she alleged was there was an attempt made to abduct her as well. So these are the kind of very serious charges that have come forward, and it'll be interesting to know that there's a big victory for especially the investigation team and the survivor here, Sakshi.
Gautam, please stay on with me for broadcast. Mr. Satyaprakash, now let me come back to you. Sir, there's a series of punishments that have been announced, and the court has also directed that all of these punishments will be running concurrently. So, like Gautam has already read it out for you over there. What are your thoughts about the punishments? Also, that there is still no word coming in from JDS on this case. They have not spoken about it yet.
Sakshi, see, this particular case, the crime has been systemic. Serial abuse has taken place. That means if you look at these two sections, 376(2)K and 376(2)N means, that means he has raped the victim, understand, using his power, and he has filmed it. Please understand. That means, for example, if a rape has occurred, it can be in a one-off case where an act has taken place. But here, he has raped, he has filmed, and he has used that film to blackmail his rape victims to come to him over and over and over and again. Over a period of 4 years, lot of his victims, especially this maid, he has repeatedly raped, shows the intent of this criminal. Please understand. That is why the judge has been so harsh on him by giving him a punishment of life term. If it was some odd rape case, no, people would have been, looked at it different way. But here, it is a systemic effort by a guy who was an MP, and he did it in his official quarters, in his official bangla, in his home. He diluted his power and preyed upon the women who were dependent upon him. Ultimately, the maid was dependent on him for salary. She was working him for the last 14, 15 years. You look what happened. After the complaint was given, his family, there is another case, his family and his mother and his mother's side, they have abducted this victim. The police had to intervene and, rescue this victim. So these are all the cases. Look at the chronology of the case.
Right.
At the start, this family disowned. They said nothing of this sort. All these are fake videos.